everybody. Thanks for tuning in for Vinyasa Yoga today. My name is Erica and I'm with UMBC Recreation. If you're new to this class, maybe new to yoga altogether, it's structured much like any exercise class where we start with a slow warm-up, build heat in the body, and then we have the bulk of our practice where we're more mobile around the mat, we're moving around more, deeper stretching, and then we end with a cool down. I say the biggest difference between yoga and other fitness classes is that at the end we lay on our back nice and still for about 2 to 3 minutes, allowing the benefits of the class to absorb into our body and giving some time to be with ourselves and in our minds, because yoga is not just all about the physical, it is about the mental and the spiritual as well. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone to always listen to your body. Practice for yourself and yourself only. Don't worry about what other people might look like if someone else is in the room. Don't worry about looking exactly how I look. As long as you feel comfortable in your body, that's all that matters. And always check with the doctor before you start a new exercise regimen. We're going to get started laying down today for our warm-up. So go ahead and lay down on your mat. Keep your knees bent for now. Feet facing the front of the mat, flat on your back. Separate your feet until they're mat width distance apart and let the knees fall into one another. Placing your arms out at shoulder height, palms face up, so we're opening wide across the front of the chest. And we'll take a few moments here, flat on our back. Getting comfortable on our mat and in our space. And drawing the attention to our breath. Maybe you're like me and the eyes sort of naturally close. And we'll take nice deep breaths into our chest. And start to exhale out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Nice cleansing breaths. And as you breathe in, I want you to tell yourself something positive. If you can't think of anything, maybe you can use, I'm happy with myself. Take another few deep breaths here. And then resume your normal pattern of breath. And extend your legs down the length of your mat so you're laying flat on your back. Arms stay where they're at. Slowly start to lift your left leg up towards the ceiling and then cross the leg over to the right. Toes may touch down towards the floor. Maybe they touch the floor, maybe not. And gently turn your head to the left. If you need a little less sensation in that left leg, go ahead and lower the toes away from the face. And if you want a little more sensation in that left leg, you're going to lift those toes up a little closer towards the face. Start getting a nice stretch in the left leg. The knee can be slightly bent as well. And adding a little bit of a twist, working with the spine, waking up our internal organs. On your next inhale, slowly lift the left leg back to the ceiling, and as you exhale out through the mouth, lower the leg down to the mat, nice and slow. On your next inhale, right leg lifts to the ceiling, and as you exhale, we'll cross it over to the left. Being gentle on your body, lowering that leg if you need some ease, maybe putting a bend in the knee. Heads turn to the right. Maybe deepening the breath a little bit. Really filling the chest up with air. Next inhale brings the right leg up towards the ceiling, and then draw the knee in towards your chest, right into Apanasana. Interlace the fingers and hold below the knee, pulling thigh close to body. And if it feels uncomfortable on your knee for any reason, try holding on to the back of the thigh instead. Feet stay flexed. Getting a nice stretch for the low back here. Gently release the leg, returning it to the mat. Then draw the left knee in towards your chest. Same thing, holding below the knee or on the back of the thigh, pulling leg close to the chest. And just breathing. Gently release, returning leg to mat. Now drawing both knees in towards the chest. Again, holding below the knee on the back of the thigh, if that feels better for you. Feet are side by side. And just decompressing the low back here. Slowly roll all the way over to one side of the body, doesn't matter which, and gently press yourself up to a seated position facing the front of the mat. Knees stay bent, feet planted on the mat, and heels are in line with the hips. Place your hands behind you for some support, but keep the spine nice and long, so try not to let the spine cave in. Nice and slow, side to side, we're gonna let the knees fall down. They don't need to touch all the way down to the floor, but maybe they do, just depending how open your hips are. Nice and slow, we'll let the knees fall side to side. Relieving tension in the hips here. We'll stick with this for about another 10 seconds or so. Once your knees come all the way to one side, we're gonna add a twist. So draw the knees all the way over to the right so that we're all on the same side. Then our left hand's gonna cross over. We're gonna twist from the belly and look towards the back of the mat. And just hold here, breathing into the chest, drawing the belly button back towards the spine. Nice and slow, we'll twist over to the left. Right hand crosses over, adding that twist. Spine is long. And slowly finding our way back to center. Extend your legs down the length of the mat so legs are straight and feet are flexed. Bend the right knee, planting the foot on the mat, and let that knee fall out towards the floor. So just the left leg is extended. Put a slight bend in that knee, keeping heel to mat and foot flexed. Lengthen the spine, send your arms up towards the sky, and slowly lower into a fold, dropping belly to thighs, arms drop by our side, and gaze is down towards the mat. Hang out for a here. Spine stays long, chest stays sending forward. Belly should be making contact with the thigh. If it's not, bend the knee, drawing the thigh closer to the body. If you happen to need a little more sensation in the extended leg, you can inch the heel forward just a bit. Just keep the spine long and belly drawing in. Slowly rise back to seated and extend the right leg down the length of the mat. Left knee bends, foot to mat, let the knee fall out. Tiny bend in the right knee, foot is flexed, Inhale as you bring the arms overhead, and exhale into fold, belly to thighs, using the breath to move us through the poses. Again, belly stays drawing in, spine is long. Slowly lifting the spine upright, extending left leg down the mat. Go ahead and swing the legs behind you and come into a tabletop position on our hands and our knees. Wrists stacked under shoulders, knees stacked under hips. Lift up to the tips of the fingers and round the spine into cat pose, tucking chin to chest and holding here. Don't hold the breath. Slowly return to tabletop, then lift and arch the spine into cow, gazes up towards the ceiling. On your next exhale, we'll round the spine back to cat pose, tucking chin to chest. Draw the breath in as you lift and arch to cow. One more time. Exhaling to cat. Inhaling to cow. Then relax back to tabletop. Stay up on the tips of the fingers for me. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes, heel in line with hip, in line with shoulders. Then give me a crunch, drawing the right knee in towards your chest, rounding your spine, lifting the knee high and stepping the foot into lunge. Ankle right below the knee. If you can't do that hands free, you can manually place your foot into alignment. Top of the left foot is on the mat. Slowly lift both arms overhead and we'll hold here, relaxing shoulders away from the ears, lifting through the chest. Taking some nice deep breaths. If you do not have any low back problems and you'd like to add a back bend here, try sending the hips forward just an inch or two as you lift through the chest, drawing the belly button back towards the spine. And then everyone bring your fingertips down to the mat. Draw the breath in through the nose, lifting the arms back overhead, nice and slow. Then exhale, fingertips down to mat. Nice and slow, like we're moving through water. Last time, deep breath in, arms come up overhead. And exhale, nice and slow, bringing fingertips back down to the mat. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes before returning to tabletop. Same thing with the left, extending that left leg, pointing through toes, heel in line with hip. Give me a crunch, drawing knee in towards chest, round the spine, lift that knee high, step or place the foot into lunge. Nice and slow, lift both arms overhead, relax the shoulders away from the ears, and take a few breaths here. If you tried the back bend on the other side, do the same here. Slightly send the hips forward, lift through the chest, turn on your core, breathe here. And on everyone's next exhale, we'll bring our fingertips down to the mat. Deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms overhead. One more time, nice and slow. Exhale, fingertips to mat. Deep breath in, arms up. And exhale, fingertips to mat. Extend your left leg behind you, pointing through the toes before returning to tabletop. Settle into child's pose, bringing your hips down towards the heels, arms extend down the length of the mat, and forehead to mat. We'll finish our warm up here with the short rest period. Make sure the toes are touching, but the knees are separated, making space for your belly in between. If you feel uncomfortable in this pose, maybe in the hips or the knees, take a look up here. Try coming back to tabletop and lowering to puppy, bringing the elbows down to the mat, palms face down, and head relaxes. You are more than welcome to take puppy pose instead of child's anytime you feel the need. Let's finish up with a nice deep breath in through our nose and out through the mouth. Slowly make your way back to a tabletop position. Spread your fingers nice and wide and tuck your toes onto the mat, preparing for down dog. If you're familiar with down dog, you can lift into down dog now. If you're new, you've never tried it, we'll take it in steps. Start by lifting the knees off the mat and drawing the belly in. Keeping the knees bent, we'll send the hips up towards the sky and bring our belly back towards our thighs. Everyone making sure you're pressing firmly into your pointer finger and your thumb. Upper arms are rotating outwards to help expand on the back side of the body. Gaze is between the feet. For beginners, we're going to start with the knees bent for now, and then we'll have the option to take it a little more advanced. Most important thing in down dog is to keep a nice length in the spine so legs are secondary. Take a few deep breaths here. Then everyone look forward. Begin to shift your weight forward and step your right foot into a lunge position. You can place it there manually if you need, ankle below knee. Step up to half lift, so left foot steps up to the top. We flatten our back, bringing hands to shins, drawing shoulders away from the ears. Lower to fold, bend the knees, drop our belly to our thighs, let the arms and head hang heavy. And one vertebrae at a time, we'll round our spines up to a standing position. Taking our time, letting our chin come up from our chest, very last. Give me a nice deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms out at our sides, up overhead. And as we exhale, we'll bring our hands together at heart center. Lower your arms down by your sides and then bring the arms behind the back, grabbing onto opposite elbows. Shift all the way into the left leg. We're going to play with a little balance here. We'll bend the right knee, lifting it up until it's in line with the hip, and then we'll step the foot back into the center of the mat and heel toe the foot out to the outer edge of the mat. So if you look down at your feet, they should not be in one line. Take a nice deep breath in and open the chest, wrapping shoulders behind the heart. As you exhale, we'll hinge forward from the hips, bringing the chest parallel to floor into Parsvottanasana. And we'll hold here. If that left leg feels really tight, it's okay to put a slight bend in the knee. Getting a nice stretch on the back side of the left leg. We're lengthening the spine. Hips stay square towards the front of the mat. As you inhale, we'll slowly rise back up to standing. Step your right foot up to the top of the mat. Lower your arms down by your sides. Breath in to lift the arms overhead. Exhale to forward fold, belly to thighs. Rise to half lift, flattening your back. And step into a plank position, bending the knees, planting the hands into a traditional plank. Then lower the knees to the mat and uncurl the toes. Leaning forward for Chaturanga till shoulders are out past the wrist. Then bend the elbows, keeping them close to the body. And then bring the chest down to the mat, rolling the rest of your body flat. Elbows are up towards the ceiling. Hands are on the mat. Slowly lifting the chest to baby cobra. Again, shoulders behind the heart. Using the strength of your core, so don't press into your hands here. And then we'll press into our rest position. Either child's, hips to heels, or puppy pose, elbows to mat, whichever feels most comfortable for you. Bringing your attention back to your breath each time in your rest pose. And slowly rising back to tabletop, preparing for down dog. Spread the fingers nice and wide, tuck toes onto the mat. Exhale as you send the hips up towards the sky and belly back towards the thighs. We're holding here. Beginners, keep the knees bent. At least 1 or 2 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Look forward and step your left foot or place your left foot into lunge. Step up to half lift, flattening the back, hands to shins. Then lower to fold, dropping belly to thighs. One vertebrae at a time will rise to a standing position, nice and slow. Once you make it back to standing, take the arms behind the back again, grabbing opposite elbows. Shifting all the weight into the right foot, bending the left knee up until it's in line with the hip, then stepping the foot back to the center of the mat and heel toeing it out to the outer edge of the mat. Inhaling to lift the chest and exhaling into fold, hinging forward at the hips, chest parallel to floor. If you gently bend the knee on the opposite side, do the same here. Nice deep breaths. Slowly rise back to standing. Step your left foot up to the top of the mat and lower arms down by your sides. Deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms overhead. Exhaling to fold, bending knees, dropping belly to thighs. Slowly rising to half lift, flattening the back. Then step back into your plank position. Lower the knees to tabletop and uncurl the toes. Lean forward for Chaturanga, shoulders past the wrist. Bend the elbows and lower the body completely flat to the mat. Lift the chest to baby cobra, shoulders behind the heart. And press into your rest position, child's or puppy. Slowly rise back to tabletop. Tuck your toes onto your mat. Use your exhale to bring you into downward dog. Hips to ceiling, belly reaching for the thighs. Gaze between the feet. Few deep breaths here. Look forward and step your right foot into lunge. Step up to half lift, flattening the back. Lower to fold, belly to thighs. And slowly make your way back to a standing position. Let's tie it in with our breath all the way through this time. Deep breath in, arms up. Slow exhale out into forward fold, belly to thighs. Inhale, half lift, flattening the back. Exhale as you step back into plank and lower the knees to tabletop. Take a breath in here. Exhale as you find Chaturanga, leaning forward, bending the elbows, coming flat to mat. Inhale to lift the chest, baby cobra, and exhale to your rest position. Slowly rise right back to tabletop, a little shorter of a break this time, and use your exhale to find down dog, hips up to ceiling. If the knees are bent and you'd like to try taking it a step further, try straightening one leg, pressing heel to the mat, then switching over to the other. So we're straightening one at a time. If you notice that your back starts to round when you do that, don't straighten the legs, just work with the knees bent. Deepening the breath. Look forward and step your right foot into lunge. Inhale as you step up to half lift, flattening the back. Exhale as you fold and draw your inhale out as you slowly rise to standing. Chin comes up last and exhaling at the top. Another deep breath in to bring the arms up. And exhale to fold. Inhale, rise, half lift. Then we'll step our right foot into a lunge, bringing our fingertips to the floor. You might need to kick that foot back a few times until you come into alignment, left knee over ankle, and that's okay. If the right leg feels really tight, you can put a slight bend in the knee. Take your hands to your thigh. And extend the arms overhead into Vinyasa. Left knee still stacked right over that ankle. Knee is tracking towards the pinky toe. A few deep breaths here. Slowly open up into 5-pointed star, facing the right side of the mat, bringing the feet flat to the mat and lowering our arms down to shoulder height. Bring your hands to your hips and turn the toes out so they're facing away from one another. Feet should be completely flat on the mat. As you exhale, slowly find goddess pose, bending the knees, stacking them over the ankles, sending the hips down towards the floor. Taking a few breaths here. Not only opening the hips, but lengthening the spine here. Knees are drawing back towards the pinky toe. And knees do not pass the ankles. As you inhale, lengthen and straighten up towards the ceiling. Turn both toes to face forward, then hinge forward at the hips, bringing your fingertips down towards the floor, bending the knees if you need to make that happen. Then just the left foot's gonna turn to face the front of the mat, and we'll walk our hands back into lunge, lifting the right heel off the mat. Step back into a plank position. Lower the knees to tabletop and uncurl the toes. Lean forward for Chaturanga, bend the elbows, come all the way flat. Inhale as you lift the chest to baby cobra, and exhale to child's, hips to heels. Short rest period here. Focus comes back to the breath. And just take a mental note about how you feel. There are no right or wrong answers, just how you feel in your body and what thoughts are going through your mind. Inhale as you slowly rise back to tabletop, and exhale to downward facing dog, hips up towards the ceiling. And remember, you can always pedal the feet, bending one knee and then the other. If you prefer to find a little bit of movement in your down dog, just deepen the breath wherever you're at, whether legs are straight or knees are bent. Look forward and step your left foot up to lunge. Inhale as you step up to half lift, flattening the back. Exhale to find your folds, belly to thighs, and we'll draw the inhale out as we slowly rise to a standing position. And exhaling at the top. Next inhale, arms come up. Exhale back to fold, belly comes down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale as you step your left foot back into lunge, bringing your fingertips down towards the floor. Bring hands to thighs and then extend arms overhead into Vinyasa and holding here. Remembering that you can put a slight bend in the extended leg if you need to bring some ease to the pose. Standing nice and tall wherever you're at. Reaching up towards the sky. Open a 5-pointed star facing the left side of the mat, feet flat, arms at shoulder height, and then bring the hands to the hips. Turning those toes out so they face away one another and feet flat to mat. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, bend the knees into goddess pose, stacking them right over the ankles. See if you can sink those hips down just a little bit more. And as you inhale, rise to standing, turning the feet to face forward. Hinge forward at the hips, bringing fingertips down towards the floor. Right foot turns to face the front of the mat and walk the hands back into lunge. Left heel lifts off the mat. Step back into plank position. Lower the knees to tabletop. Exhale as you lean forward into Chaturanga, bringing the body flat. Inhale to lift the chest, shoulders wrap behind the heart. And exhale into your rest position. Taking a moment of stillness here. Inhale as you find your tabletop position, and exhale to down dog, hips up to the sky. Taking a few breaths here. Give me a couple in through the nose and out through the mouth. Look forward and step your left foot into lunge. Inhale as you step up to half lift. Exhale as you lower to fold. And inhale as you slowly rise to standing. Shift all the weight into your left foot. Lift the toes up off the mat, spread them nice and wide, and then place them back down to the floor. Tiny micro bend in the left leg. Turn on your quad, so you should feel the muscles around the knee lift and even activate the glutes. So left leg is totally turned on, active and strong. We're going to bend our right knee, bringing it up in line with the hip, interlacing the fingers and holding on to the knee here. If that's a struggle for you, I want you to work here, slowly lowering the foot down to the mat, and then lifting it back up towards the hands, back and forth throughout the remainder of the exercise. If you've got a hold of your knee, I want you to stand nice and tall, send your chest forward, nice strong leg, pull the low belly in. We're strengthening our standing leg, we're working on our balance, and we're even engaging our lower core here. Nice steady breaths. On your next exhale, step your right foot down to the mat and leave it there. We're going to switch all the way into the right foot. Same thing with the toes, lift them up, spread them wide, plant them back down. Tiny micro bend, turn on the quad, turn on your glute. We're going to draw the left knee in this time, interlacing the fingers, taking hold, and remaining steady here. Otherwise, we're slowly lifting and lowering. Not holding the breath. Low belly is engaged. On your next exhale, slowly step your foot down to the mat. If you're not standing at the top of the mat, go ahead and make your way there now. Feet hips width distance apart. Give me a nice deep breath in, lifting arms out at our sides, up overhead. And exhale to folds, belly to thighs. Inhale as you slowly rise back up to standing. Next time, let's try it with the eyes closed. So go ahead and close the eyes, stand nice and tall. Draw the breath in, lifting arms overhead. Exhaling to folds, belly to thighs. Inhaling as you rise to standing, nice and slow. Eyes are still closed. Last time, deep breath in and arms up. Exhale to fold, belly falls down. Inhale as you rise to half lift, holding here, chest parallel to floor, and gently open the eyes. Step back into your plank position, and we're going to hold this plank here, fingers spread wide, wrists stacked under shoulders, heels in line with hip, in line with shoulders. We're going to hold for 10 seconds starting now. If you're tired, you're more than welcome to lower down to your belly. We're all going to get there eventually. We're holding for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way down to the mat, nice and flat. Bring arms along your sides, palms face up. Turn your head to one side so you can rest on your cheek. Bring the toes to touch, but let the heels fall out. And just sort of wiggle your hips back and forth, helping to relax them onto the mat, relieving tension in the low back. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale out through the mouth, relax and let go completely onto the mat. And just take a short rest here. Acknowledging that there's nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to be doing other than being here on the mat. Slowly turn your head to the opposite side. Bring your chin to the mat, placing your hands back underneath the shoulders, and press one last time into your rest position, puppies or child. If you're in child's pose, we'll take a rounded variation, bringing the arms along the sides of the body, palms face up, and let the shoulders melt down towards the floor. Slowly rise to a seated position. Swing the legs out in front of you so they're down the length of your mat. Bend your right knee, placing your foot on the floor. Use your left arm to hold on to that bent leg, and we'll spinal twist to the right, placing our right hand directly behind us, gazing to the back of the room. Spine stays nice and long here. Belly is active, drawing in. And include your gaze in the twist too, looking out towards the right corner of your eye. And here we're really promoting a healthy spine. And again, getting a slight massage for our organs, keeping them nice and healthy too. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, slowly unwind and return to center, straightening the right leg. Left knee bends, foot to mat. Right arm holds on. We'll spinal twist open to the left, looking out towards the back of the room. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, we'll unwind and straighten the leg. Move to the center of your mat if you're not there already. Bend both knees again, feet to mat. Hands on the back of the thighs, and we'll roll down until we're flat on our back. Go ahead and straighten the legs down the length of the mat. Draw both knees in towards the chest, feet side by side, holding on below the knees or on the back of the thighs, pulling legs close to body. We'll hold here for a few moments. Much like how we started the class, sort of coming full circle. Keep your legs where they're at, but release your arms down to the floor, out at shoulder height, palms face up. Let the knees fall to the right into recline, spinal twist. And gently turn your head to the left. If you need some ease in this twist, to lower the knees away from the face. And if you want a little more sensation in your twist, try bringing those knees up just a little bit. Left shoulders pressing firmly to the floor. Slowly draw the knees back to the center of the chest and let them fall over to the left as you gently turn your head to the right. This is our last pose before our final resting pose. It's a great time to close the eyes, help prepare the body for our stillness at the end of the practice. Start to deepen the breath. Slowly draw the knees back to center and hold on to the legs, pulling them close to the body one last time. Take a deep breath in through the nose, lift your head to meet your knees, hold the breath here. And as you exhale out through the mouth, relax and lay flat on the mat, spreading your arms and legs nice and wide, taking up as much space as you can. Let the toes fall out, palms face up towards the ceiling, and eyes are closed. We'll finish here with our short rest period. The best way to find relaxation is to bring your focus to your breath, to follow every rhythmic, repetitive rise and fall of your chest. Relaxing the muscles around the brow. And imagine that every time you exhale, you melt a little more onto your mat. And again, repeating silently to yourself that positive message that you said at the beginning of the class. If your focus has wandered, bring your attention back to your breath for the last few moments. Start to deepen your breath and start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, welcoming movement back into your body. Nice and slow, roll over to the right side of your body. Take a moment of stillness on your side, maybe using your arm to support your head like a pillow. Keeping your eyes closed or your gaze low to the floor, slowly press yourself up into a seated position. As always, to end class, we'll take 3 cleansing breaths together as one, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Today, we are taking a 4-count breath, so we'll inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 4. If you find after the first round of breath that the 4 count comes easily to you, try extending that count to a count of 5 instead. Everyone start on an exhale, drawing all the breath you have out of the body. Start to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Breath in, 2, 3, 4, and breath out, 2, 3, 4. Last time, 2, 3, 4, and release, 2, 3, and 4. Take a second to thank your body. Really give thanks to your body, for your mind, for your patience, for this practice. And I'd like to thank you for letting me lead you on this practice today. There is a light within me that honors the light that exists within you. Thanks so much for practicing with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the class and got a really nice stretch. If you enjoyed this class, a new version of this class gets aired every Monday at 8 a.m. If you like my style, but you're looking for something a little more challenging, I suggest my core yoga class that is aired every Wednesday at 8 a.m. If you are not yet following UMBC on Instagram, please give us a follow, UMBC Rec. Keep up with all of our content and our news. And we also have a YouTube channel at UMBC Rec TV. Before I say my final goodbye, I do just want to let you guys know, for those of you who live on campus, I am teaching a socially distanced yoga class in person on Erickson Field on November 1st at 11 a.m. You do have to sign up. You can do that through my UMBC, I believe, or you can check through UMBC Rec and sign up there. Other than that, I hope to see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your week.